All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Chris's Sports Corner. Real quick, man, hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Hope everybody up, highly motivated, moving in the direction they want to move, getting the things they want to get done. So yesterday I made a video and I was talking about the Toronto Raptors and, moving up to get Mobley. And I said there's other scenarios. Well, I ran across this article on RaptorsRupture.com. Shout out to them. And, it brought up some interesting points. One of them is signing Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. has some amazing moments during the season when he came over from Portland. Played well. He went over for the Norman Powell swap. I'm going to sit here and say it right off the cup. I was not a fan of the trade at first. I think it was Rodney Hood and Gary Trent and Norman Powell, something like that, right? But Gary Trent Jr. obviously surprised me, and I think one of the things that surprised me most about him was, I'm not going to act like I follow him a lot. But the one thing that you did notice, he never shied away from the moment. When the moment was big, he wanted it. And I think it was a open it was an opening there for that, right? Like we knew who Siakam is, and we knew what Lowry brought and all of that, but it felt like Gary Trent Jr. brought a little extra to the party, right? Like he came in, and I'm just be honest, he wasn't like, oh man, I got traded. Here we go. All right, let me come out here and do my thing. Let me come out here and play and see what happens. No, he came in like, all right, I'm here. Let's go. I'm going to work. And he was a bright spot for them. He averaged 16.2 points a game, and that was over a 17-game stretch, which was the best of his career. Now I don't know if he was previously used improperly, or anything like that in other situations, but he flourished. So this article says, it's titled, "What Does Re-Signing Gary Trent Jr. Signals About the Offseason Plans?" And it says, Trent is a free agent while the Raptors will be able to exercise plenty of control over his future. That won't necessarily stop teams from ponying up with offer sheets. However, according to John Heininger of The Atlantic, it is to be believed Toronto is just dying at the possibility of bringing him back. Now, let me say this. I would bring him back at the right price, right? I do believe bringing him back at the right price. I'm not going to get into one of those unnecessary bidding wars where you end up overpaying for a player. But he should be compensated fairly. But I mean, you've seen that over a 17-game stretch. You got to go back and look at previous seasons with previous teams. But over that 17-game stretch, you have to ask yourself some questions, right? Was he highlighted because of other struggles, right? And, we've seen many times where players look one way during a certain situation and go to the other situation look totally different. But I do think if you can bring him back at the right price, then he's a great he's a great anchor for this team. But what I will say, something else this article pointing out, is the fact that one thing they talk about is bringing back Kyle Lowry or lack thereof, right? Many believe in, I'm one of them. I'm going to be honest. Do I hate to see Kyle Lowry go? Yes. I honestly believe Kyle Lowry has become a pillar. He's infamous with Toronto, right? It was like seeing DeMar DeRozan leave at first, It was like, I don't know, this don't look right. But hey, what can you do? You got used to it, right? Same thing. I think seeing Lowry in a different jersey will be a little weird for me. I feel like he's synonymous with the Toronto Raptors. I think he embodied what they stand for. But I also understand, like many people say, and it's often said, that this is a business. And you got to get better. Kyle Lowry, 35 years old now. He gonna... I understand trying to move on. I understand as much as I don't like it, I do understand it's all about making the team better. And to me, it just didn't end right. I'm going to be honest. That thing didn't end right to me with him last year. I don't know. I don't want to dig too deep into that. But with that being said, it says, could the Raptors end up making a lot of moves this offseason? One of them being signing Gary Trent Jr., using that number 4 pick for Jalen Suggs or Jalen Green. And we all know I said, if you're going to trade up, go get Mobley. And I read some comments, guys. And I understand what you guys say, because it seems like the big man is not as important. But what you're starting to see is, and I'm a firm believer in this, and I'm a fan of this actually, the big man is starting to show how important they are, right? You look at the league MVP this year, you look at we can say that, now you got to be able to do it, you got to be able to shoot a little bit from the outside now. It ain't typical, like you ain't just going to dump it in there and boom, all game long, because you may be a heck of a player on the offensive side, but you'll become a major liability on the defensive side. So that can get kind of cloudy. But when you look at your top 3 in the MVP race today, 2 of those were big men. This season, 2 of them were big men. Jokic and Embiid. Those are 2 big men. Now they can't stretch the floor a little bit, but they are predominantly big men. Joel Embiid's career went to another level when he stopped trying to be a 3-point guard and get his butt in the middle and dominate. So I say all that to say, that's why I really feel like if there's a chance to go get Mobley, go get him. Go get that guy if you got a chance. But if you don't, hey, you know, I like Suggs. I'm going to do a video on them too, man. So I'm going to break these guys down to what I think of Suggs and Green and all that. And then there's the possibility of trading. But one thing that this article this article really talked about that stood out to me. With more money available to sign one of the better centers in free agent, the ability to draft a player like Suggs and Green at number 4, the Raptors could be able to rebuild quickly, be it at the shooting guard spot as a small forward or smaller lineup. Trent shooting would be a big part of the plan to rebuild on the fly. So what they're pretty much saying is this could be a rapid rebuild, man. They got the number 4 pick. You do something major with that. Again, like we all know, I talked about it before, you could package it with some players and trade out and get a star, or a superstar. Or you can take one of these guys, and I like that. You got the money, go get you a good center. See what centers are fully available. I know Drummond is going to be available. Even though it didn't really look really good at it. Whatever. I'm not gonna harp on that. But he's gonna be available. There's gonna be some other players available. Then of course, you know, you got your pick, so they can do the Raptors could be on a rapid rebuild. You know, with this bringing back Gary Trent Jr., you still got Siakam there, you still got Flynn, who I'm really high on. So let's see how this go, man. I'm gonna continue to talk about this because I want to break down Suggs and I want to break down Green at the number 4 pick. So y'all stay tuned with me. I'm gonna keep dropping these because I'm really interested in how this play out, and I'm waiting to see what Masai do. Come on, man. With that being said, guys, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Till next time, you guys be good.